Hello and welcome to the June 2021 Bluffton Area Chamber of Commerce member meeting. I'm Paula Scott, and welcome to a fantastic Zoom meeting with a program on the Bluffton Ride to Remember and member announcements. First, however, I want to start by introducing you to our newest members, and that is Bluffton Lantern Nutrition. Jen and Jeff Putman have just moved, well, I say just moved into, I should say have just opened a new business in Tommy's Plaza, and they're here this morning to tell us all about it. Okay, Jen and Jeff.
Good morning. So our business, we sell healthy meal replacement shakes and zero sugar energy teas. So the shakes are 24 grams of protein, 10 grams of sugar, and 200 calories. There's a full serving of vegetables in each one, but they are absolutely amazing and delicious. Bunch of people have come in, showed support, tried them out. They all love them. We're hoping to be here for a while, bring a little health and wellness to the community. The teas are an herbal tea, which gives antioxidant support. There's aloe in it that's good for your digestive health. And there's a lift-off tablet in there that's caffeine and B vitamins. So you get a lot of energy, but since there's no sugar, there's no crash afterwards.
And can you tell us what your hours are? When can we come and try these beverages?
So for right now, we're doing 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. But if we get more interest in the morning, maybe when this road opens up, we might end up opening up earlier.
And then Saturday and Sunday, we're open from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Fantastic. And I know I first heard about you on Facebook. I recommend, it's a great way to get to know your business and get to know Jen and Jeff and their story, their entrepreneurial story. Anything else that you'd like to share with us about your background?
So I worked in a factory for about 15 years. I got laid off last year due to COVID, and my wife suggested that I go work in the nutrition club in Findlay. And I just found out how much I really loved doing it. Like the whole atmosphere was so much different than being in a factory. It's so positive and upbeat. And the whole nutrition club community is so supportive, helping each other out. Everybody wants everybody else to succeed and grow. It's just so much nicer.
And I graduated from Bluffton University in 2015 with a bachelor's of arts in mathematics. And I currently work at State Bank and Trust Company in Findlay.
Well, welcome to the chamber. I'm so glad you could join us, and I want to encourage everyone to stop in and visit. We will be doing a ribbon cutting as soon as we can schedule that. And again, congratulations on your new business, and welcome to the chamber.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and now our program for today is something that I really enjoy and have been involved with for several years, not for the, I think, is it 7 years now that Bluffton has been hosting the Ride to Remember, but the chamber is a sponsor of the ride, and I'm involved in the promotion, working on the promotion with the committee. So I want to welcome Ron Headings and Jenny Pilarowski, John Rich, and Bill Triplett here for a presentation this morning on the July 10th Ride to Remember. All right, I'm going to hand it over to you, Ron.
Well, thank you so much, Paula. It is great to be here along with 3 other members of our steering team. And there are a lot of other people on the call this morning who have been involved with the ride in a variety of ways. So the 4 of us are going to talk, and if somebody else has something to offer, please feel free to jump in and say what you appreciate about the ride or what you think is important and helpful about it for our community. So we're going to start this morning with Bill Triplett. He has links to this ride from the very beginning, and as well as some familial links to things that are going on. He'll talk about the purpose and history and background of the ride. And then John Rich is going to talk about the logistics of what happens that day and the timing and the rest stops, and we'll show you the maps as well. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the marketing, the ways we've communicated and try to get people to be a part of it and come to our community on July 10 for the ride. And then finally, Jenny is going to share with you all of the needs that we have and the goodie bags that we're putting together and the ways that you can communicate the existence of your business to all the people who are coming into town to take advantage of this community effort. So with that, I'll turn it over to Bill.
Well, thank you, Paula and Ron, for inviting me to present a little bit of history for the Ride to Remember. Paula mentioned that it was 7 years ago. Actually, about 8 years ago, the ride had its beginnings in 2014. That was 2 years after my father's death. Well, Fred Steiner, Dick Ramsire, and Carol Edding, then director of BFR, expressed interest in doing something to remember my parents. They wanted to recognize my parents because they were, among other things, the driving force to create the bike path that goes between Bluffton and the town park. And also, they were a driving force to establish BFR. Well, with the 25th anniversary of the bikeway, the Triplett Bikeway, coming up in 2015, the thought of a bicycle ride in their memory was discussed. The ride was not to be a race, but rather a social event where one could enjoy the company of riding with others on the quiet back roads around Bluffton. It would also be used to promote Bluffton and its businesses. That was something my parents were very adamant about, is trying to help Bluffton in any way they could. And with the new bike shop in town and the town's interest in promoting bicycle riding, this was a perfect fit. We decided that any funds raised would go to the Lions Foundation for future bike paths. And this was something that we thought my parents would really love to see happen. Well, there were many volunteers that started working on this, too many really to mention. They worked hard on this first inaugural years. There were very few people in Bluffton that had any idea of how to run a bicycle ride. Now, Raymond and Liz Harden from the new bike shop, now called Bike Crazy, were key in getting the ride from just thoughts into reality. Now, most bicycle rides like this include food. They give away food at the end or have sandwiches or something. And the committee that was working on this said, well, how can we promote Bluffton businesses? And so from the very beginning, it was decided that they would offer $8 coupons, food coupons, good at the downtown restaurants. And so after someone finished a ride, they could, rather than jump in their car and drive home, this was an opportunity to go see some of the businesses in town. And I'm sure the Putnams would enjoy being part of that. The bike riders like to drink healthy foods and eat well. And this would be a good opportunity for a rider to experience some kind of special new drink. Well, with all that said, in July of 2015, we held the first Ride to Remember. It was a great success. We had 101 paid riders. The weather was picture perfect, and every rider had good things to say about it. It raised about $1,600 for the Lions Foundation. Now, the following year, 2016, we added some things to it. We included a mass start. We had a police escort. for that mass start, and something called the Triplett Challenge, which is a 112-mile long ride. And they was seeing if people could ride the entire course within that time period. It attracted about 150 riders. And then since then, we added a DJ at the start with music and music at the finish. We had t-shirts and John, there you might even be able to show yours from last year. We had Burma Shave signs added, and these were kind of those sequential signs that have a little riddle or a little saying. It added some fun. This was, a lot of riders really enjoyed those because it gave them something to think about rather than the aching legs. And the route changed to include Ada. And over the couple of years, the ride numbers have increased to about 200 riders, a lot of them from Findlay and Lima, and even some from around the state. The ride now is known by bicyclists in the region and has become a town tradition. Now, I want to bring up 3 years that stand out. In 2018, there were some major storms, rainstorms in the area before the ride. I think there was even a microburst or a little tornado that went through Bluffton and some trees were down. Anyway, the route follows the Blanchard River, and that was flooded that week. Plans were made to shuttle riders around the water, and this was really creating havoc for the team, the planning team. Well, early in the morning of the ride, the route team went out to check the route, see where they'd have to have the shuttling, and somehow the water receded and the road was fit for riding. No, there wasn't a Moses on the team, but it seemed that way. Then in 2019, it was extremely hot. Temperature predicted to be near 100 degrees. Other events in the area were being canceled. Somehow the Ride to Remember was still held. And yes, the temperatures reached the mid-90s, but the planners had arranged many bags of ice and bottles of water, and almost all of it was used. The ride was a success in spite of all the heat. Interesting, there were more words of thanks for the ice and water than complaints about the heat. And of course, last year, 2020, was a standout year because of COVID, forcing it to be a virtual ride. The team put together a successful virtual ride. We got a number of people to sign up and continue to support the cause of raising funds for the bicycle path. And with that, I think I've used my time. I'll turn it over back to Ron.
Well, we should probably add from last year, some of the interesting things we learned was that people wanted to support the ride and support bike paths around Bluffton, even who could not get out on a bicycle. So we had a couple of people sign up for the ride who rode their indoor bicycles in the air conditioning. And even though they weren't physically able to get out on the roads, they still supported the ride and the community. So let's turn it over to John. And John, I'm going to share my screen and put up the bike paths while you're talking. Put the maps up so everybody can see those as well.
Okay. Well, there's several loops. And instead of me talking about actually the loops that people can ride, I think they are wonderfully illustrated and described on the web page. So if you go to R2R Bluffton, Ohio, there is a complete information web page that's available for people to download maps, to register, and I think someone else is going to talk about that, so I won't describe it. when we were planning this year's ride, we didn't know for sure what the spread of the virus would be like by July. And so we decided to plan both a virtual ride and in-person ride, so that you have a choice this year of doing the ride virtually or coming into town and in person taking one of the loops or all the loops, which gives you a choice. What to expect when you come? There's a few things that are different if you have ridden before. First off, I think Bill mentioned that there in the past was always a group start, and that the police car led the riders off at around 8 o'clock on the ride through town, and off you went. We are eliminating the group start mainly because of trying to avoid close contact and large group connections. And so this year, when you arrive, you can check in. If you want to get a t-shirt and you hadn't signed up for that online, there's availability there and a tent to do that and so on. But if you're riding with a small group, you can take off on the ride and the route which you have chosen whenever you're ready. So instead of having everyone start at once, you can start whenever you are ready to go. Also, at the beginning of the tent registrations, there will be information. There will be a few of the sacks that have the business information and some coupons in it. If you didn't sign up to get that online, there will still be some available for those that didn't. So those are some of the differences that we have. And usually we have some entertainment that's going on at the beginning. We will have some of that again this year also. I might mention about masks that we are requiring riders to wear masks while in the starting area. And if you are in one of the rest stops to put on a mask, otherwise you do not need to wear a mask while riding on the route. Hopefully, most of the people coming will have both vaccinations, and that the spread of the virus will be very much limited. There are multiple rest stops along the routes. There is one in Pandora. There is one in Ottawa. Excuse me, there's one in Ada, are the bigger rest stops. I think Benton Ridge, there used to be a water stop for those. There was not manned. But the rest stops will have a bottled ice water and prepackaged snacks, so that again, to try to eliminate any passage of virus along in those cases, maybe we've eliminated that as much as possible. A lot of things I think will probably be talked about by other people. So I will turn that over back to Ron.
And here's the last map is the fun loop mostly for young families who can make 10 miles just around the Bluffton area. And there are some riddles to go along with the route. So let me talk a little bit about marketing and our communication process. And in order to do that, sorry, that's not what I was looking for, but in any case, we'll start out with the brochure. And this is a trifold brochure that's available. If you have a business that you would like to share this with people, we can let us know and we can get you this brochure. Shows all the details of the flight, of the ride, all the sponsors, and a little bit of a short description of each of the loops. And then gives a detail about the cost. The registration is $20 for an individual, then additional family members are $15. And for the 14 and under family group, we add another $10. That's all the advance fees. And then on the day of the ride, the cost actually goes up to $30 per person if you register. And we're trying to convince people to register early so that we don't have a lot of people milling around together at the registration site. This is the poster that will be printed shortly. And if you have a window that you can post this on, we would love to have this up in as many businesses as we can. With all of our sponsors, shows a little bit about the maps, and may get a better picture. See if I can find the website to show you. There we go. So here's the website. And we've got a number of places that you can go on the website. This is the introduction that just gives a little bit of an overview of the event, as John indicated. The purpose is to ride and build more bike paths. That's what we're all about, is to try to create that full loop and a variety of little spurs around Bluffton. And we think that by creating that kind of a bicycle-friendly community, that we will in the future attract a lot more people to Bluffton simply to park and ride around the town for the day. And obviously that's going to be a great deal in terms of exposure to all of our businesses. This is a picture of the shirt for this year. It's in a kind of a middle blue color. And our theme is back in the saddle again, given that we've just followed up a year of COVID where we were all riding on our own. This is what it looked like with the mass start a few years ago, and a few other fun pictures. And then we also have the maps and indicating the locations on the website. To register, people click this button, and then when you register now, it gives all the information that you need, and offers to provide a shirt. The shirts are an additional $20. We will also have a few shirts available on the day of the ride. So that's pretty much it for, the other thing I should mention about marketing is that we're doing most of our marketing through email and social media. And that is that we have a list of email from all of the previous year's riders. And so there are several hundred individuals that we send information to via email. And we're also spending a fair amount of money putting the information out on social media, especially through Facebook. And so we're trying to get some additional attention this year by really hitting the social media. Visit Findlay, as one of our sponsors, is helping us out with a lot of marketing and helping us pay for that marketing to get people into the area. So that's our marketing. Let me turn it over to Jenny, and she can talk about the kinds of goodies that we're putting together for our riders.
Thank you. I want to tell you how excited we are to be having an in-person ride again this year, as well as a virtual ride. That is really exciting. We are very pleased. We are preparing a cinch sack for each one of the riders that will have promotional items in from the business in Bluffton. It's a way of encouraging those riders and their families to come back to Bluffton and to enjoy everything that Bluffton has to offer. Last year, this is what our bag looked like. Actually, 2019 is what our bag looked like. And in that bag, there was a value of about $150, including coupons from several businesses, sticky note pads, pens, Shirley's popcorn, bottle of water, candy bars. It was exciting, and $150 worth of good stuff. What we're asking is that the businesses provide us with 200 promotional items, something with your business information on it, so we can put in the sack for this year. And this year's sack will be orange with all the sponsors written on as well. And we would like those 200 items by the 1st of July in order that I can then stuff these bags. It is a way of promoting your business, a way of promoting Bluffton, and encouraging all of those riders and families to come back to our community and to enjoy your business as well as enjoying everything that Bluffton has to offer. I would like very much to hear from you, and I would be more than happy to come pick up whatever your items are and have them ready to stuff in our bags. And I thank you. If you have any questions, let me know.
That's all we have for our presentation today. If you have any questions, we'd be delighted to answer them.
Ron, I have a question. Do you have any idea, or could you give us an idea of how the sponsors are contributing this year? Are we up from last year? Are we doing good with sponsors? Do we have an estimate of how much they donated collectively together so far for this year?
Yes, we are nicely up from previous years. Our sponsorship is well up over $5,000 in cash. And then there are lots of businesses as well who are making contributions in kind that are values way beyond the values of cash contributions. And Bike Crazy, of course, is one that puts a tremendous amount of time into the ride and helping out with repairs, and they are present all day and in fact all year round. So thanks, Raymond and Liz.
And I want to mention to our members that the Explore Bluffton Guide is one of the things that will go in all of those cinch sacks. So we'll be promoting all of our members in that way. Any other questions before we move on to chamber announcements? Okay, fantastic. Thank you all so much for taking part in this panel discussion. These folks have been working hard for many months on this project. And I'm just really looking forward to that spotlight on Bluffton. Thank you again. All right, so things have been a little bit different for the past year, but we've had some great innovations as a result. And one of those is the Discovery Days that our Bluffton businesses started hosting last summer. And we're going to have the first Discovery Day of 2021 on June 26th. This year we are doing themes for our Discovery Days, and these are the 4th Saturday of the month. And this one is going to be Tune into Bluffton. So we have a music theme that we're following. Oh, I need a poster. I am going to be distributing our posters today. I want to thank the Bluffton University Bookstore for printing these for us. We have a very busy day of activities to attract people to Bluffton on the 26th. 12 shops are going to be distributing tickets for a prize drawing. For every $10 that you spend, you'll get a ticket and the chance to win up to a total of $250 in prizes and a $100 grand prize in Bluffton bucks that you can spend at chamber member businesses. We'll also be having a gazebo concert. The brand new gazebo at Bluffton Presbyterian Church will be celebrated with a ribbon cutting and dedication and a brass concert, and that starts at noon. We're going to have kids karaoke, pop-up shops, and gospel singer Tom Treese at Beacon Life Ministries. Of course, we have our usual Saturday activities, the farmers market and Bluffton Cars and Coffee, which is also on the fourth Saturday of the month. If you haven't been there, it's at Masterpiece Signs on the north end of town, and they attract a whole flock of people with their classic and very special cars. I think all kinds of cars of all time periods are welcome to that car show. The library is going to have a music activity kit that you can pick up, and 96.1 The Wit is going to be promoting the event, and we're going to invite everyone to put the Wit on in their businesses. If you have music playing or radio playing, we invite you to put the Wit on that day. So promotion is rolling, but if you are still interested in doing something that day, we can't add you to the poster anymore, but we can add you to our website, explorebluffton.com/discovery, and we can add you to our social media promotion. And we encourage everyone to decorate on the 26th, like Bluffton is having a party, like it's a special day that we're welcoming everyone to town. Any questions about the event on the 26th? One opportunity is Beacon Life Ministries is going to have pop-up shops. So for example, that will include Cindy Lugenbuehl of Rodan and Fields. And if you have other home-based businesses, you might want to get a hold of Beacon Life Ministries to see if they have a room for your pop-up shop. And we will have our next event on July 24th. So our June 17th planning meeting at 7:30 a.m. We'll be wrapping up the plans for the June event. We'll also be planning the July Corn-a-thon. And I have to say that theme has really gotten people's creative juices flowing. If you want to join us for a discussion of perhaps food activities, corny jokes contests, cornhole tournaments, you can join us, email me or join us for, I don't know if it's going to be an in-person or a Zoom meeting on the 17th. Okay. And I want to mention on the 26th, we will be doing a ribbon cutting at noon at the gazebo. So please, we always invite our chamber members to be there, to hold on to a piece of that ribbon, to celebrate this wonderful addition to our community. Recently, since our last meeting, I have asked our members to support the August 3rd fireworks after National Night Out. After a year off, we are back at it, and people have responded businesses have responded very enthusiastically. We have 70% of our costs pledged. We have a platinum sponsor in Bluffton Paving and Bluffton Stone. We have gold sponsors, Bluffton Hospital and Bluffton University. Silver sponsor, Ryan DeMarco of Edward Jones, and ruby sponsor, Ryan and Sarah Brown. So please consider joining them. We still have 30% of the way to go. And so we welcome your pledge today. And if you cannot be a fireworks sponsor, there are other ways to support National Night Out. Our police department is taking volunteers in several shifts. There will be a lot of activities there that evening that can use your support. So you can also contact the Bluffton Police Department if you're interested in supporting National Night Out. And then speaking of sponsors, I'm really excited to announce that this will be, I'm expecting our last Zoom breakfast meeting. I want to thank everyone for their patience handling this from home or from your desk at the office or the shop. In September, we will have our first breakfast meeting. So I am looking for programs, I am looking for sponsors, and I am looking for caterers. I want to thank Drive Time Driving Instruction. Sarah and Doug Kisseberth are our first pledge. They have taken our May sponsor slot, and I want to invite everyone to follow their example. The cost is $250. And that goes straight to the caterer. The chamber does not take a slice of that. It goes straight to the caterer and feeds about 60 people. If you are the sponsor, you will be promoted in our email breakfast invitations and our reminders. You'll be promoted in Facebook posts on explorebluffton.com. And you get 3 to 5 minutes at the beginning of the meeting to give an update on your business or organization. So I think it's a very worthwhile opportunity. You get the very beginning of the meeting when we are all fresh and ready to listen. And so I want to encourage everyone, if you have never been a sponsor before, to consider doing that in the upcoming season. All righty. And any questions about that before we move on to our member investor announcements? Okay, well, I want to turn things over. Is Tom Gieskin still here? I've got more than one screen here. Okay, Tom may have left us. Then I'm just going to fill in for him. Well-Grounded Cafe is open in Ottawa. So Tom is our member as Gieskin Outdoor Advertising. And this summer he has expanded into a new area and has opened a beautiful coffee shop in Ottawa at 114 North Elm. So when you're in Ottawa, please stop by and check it out. All right. Do I have any other member announcements? Tom was the only one who wrote in and put his name on the agenda. I won't call on anyone today. That is all that I have for today. So I guess I'm going to let us out early. You can continue to have a conversation. Thank you so much. I'll stop the recording. We can have a conversation. Thank you all so much for joining us for this meeting. I hope you have a wonderful summer. I will be emailing if we should have a business after hours plan. That's an event where we don't have any program. We just enjoy each other's company and network casually. Thanks again, and I hope I'll see you soon.